Hey, what's up folks? We are into the final training session before CBCC. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to give a couple updates. Number one, as you can see, I've shaved my head. It's going to be very hot tomorrow, and that's something I sort of needed to do anyway. The faux hawk was getting kind of off center. So I'm going to grow it all back out, but for now, this is the look. Hopefully it'll keep me nice and cool tomorrow. As far as the race is concerned, there are a few things that I'm sort of worried about. One of them is the weather. It has rained a lot recently, which means the trails are going to be wet. Some of the disgusting slogs, like 50, are also going to be muddy, which is going to be just unpleasant. So that's not great. But tomorrow it's going to be, it looks like intermittent showers currently in the forecast, but still quite hot with real feels, you know, the sort of real feel with the humidity, getting up to around 90. So one thing I need to warn you right now, I'm only going to bring the sort of XC camera rig that is very floppy when things get technical. So you'll probably have to put up with a bit of bouncy footage. I apologize for that, but the more stable harness just adds a bunch of weight and heat that I really am not going to need any extra weight or heat tomorrow. So we're not going to do that. So the heat is one thing that I'm concerned about. I did have a meeting with my coach, and he stressed, I mean, we talked about a bunch of different ways to stay cool, but he also stressed it's really important to not, like, you can kind of push yourself over an edge in the heat in terms of exertion and your body temperature. And once you go past that, like, you're done. There's no coming back from it. So I need to be really careful to kind of keep my exertion in check so as to not go over that line, because I know, especially for me, I've had issues with heat illnesses in the past. There's some science that suggests that that might make me more susceptible to them. So I need to really be careful about that. So that's one thing that I need to be focused on. Another thing is just carrying speed through the single track. And honestly, I think that's where this attempt is going to sink or swim. There is more single track on this year's course than in years past, I think, because the narrow gauge is, part of it is still under construction or under repair from some storms this spring. So some of the easy miles are gone, and they've been replaced with stuff like a section of Cinderella, which is a black cross-country trail that now comes right at the end of the loop. So that's going to be brutal. So despite that I'm coming to this from exclusively mountain biking, I actually think at this point my biggest strength in this race is just my fitness and where I'm at, like my ability to sort of maintain a certain level of power over time. But of course, on a lot of the technical stuff, that's not the limiting factor. The limiting factor is bike handling, skill, and confidence. And that's where I struggle. So I am going to run flat pedals tomorrow. I've run clips up in Carabasset for a couple different scouting sort of rides now, and haven't had any issues really. But it's still just kind of like, it's another factor that's in my head while I'm riding, that I'm thinking about, okay, you know, when do I, if I want to walk something, when do I need to clip out? Can I clip out? Should I just clip out and walk this because I don't want to get stuck in the middle of it? So I just want to take that off the table, out of my mind. So I'm going to ride flats. I'll lose some efficiency, which is kind of a bummer. And I really do like how riding the clips feels, but I'm hoping that'll pay off in terms of confidence, being able to put my foot down when I need to, being able to sort of walk sections faster when I need to do that, which I'm sure I'm going to. So the other sort of thing that I'm worried about is just the time cutoff. The 100K race starts at 8, and everybody needs to be, or I think you need to be at the last aid station by 3:30. So that's 7.5 hours. So basically, I don't remember exactly how far it is from the last aid station to the finish, but let's say that basically means you need to finish within 8 hours. And I know last year there was at least one person who finished after 8 hours, so the cutoff must have been different. But of course the trail was different too. There was more narrow gauge then. So honestly at this point, the two things I'm the most worried about are the heat and just how I respond to that, and going slowly enough that I end up not being allowed to finish because I hit the time cutoff. Oh boy, now we're getting into efforts. Hold on. So that's kind of where we're at with the race tomorrow. I also wanted to give some updates in terms of the videos that you can expect coming up on this channel. So obviously things have been super busy the past couple weeks and I haven't had time to edit anything, but I do have a bunch of footage. So here's what I know will be coming up. You just got to be patient and wait for me to edit it. So there will be a video on the Mountain Mayhem race at Mount Abram that I already did. If you don't know how that one went already, stay tuned, that's going to be a great one. There will be a video on how CBCC goes. However, you know, whether it's a triumph, a disaster, somewhere in the middle, should be a video regardless unless my camera gear fails. So there will be that. There will be a post-race sort of bike and gear check video where I'm gonna go through the bike in detail, I'm gonna go through my gear in detail, and talk about how well all of it worked in the context of a marathon mountain bike race like that. And then finally, there is also going to be a video where I just kind of sum up what it's been like working with a coach for the past, I guess about 8 months at this point, and kind of talk about my thoughts on coaching, is it worth it, that kind of stuff. So we'll have that as well. So anyway, that's a little preview of what's coming up. I don't know exactly when. It'll depend on life and work and when I have time to edit things. We got in-laws coming to visit pretty soon for a couple weeks, so, you know, bear with me. I'll do what I can, but I think we do have some good stuff coming up. Anyway, I gotta jump in and focus on this next effort now. So anyway, I hope you're having a chance to get outside and ride. I hope this friggin' heat and humidity goes away, but it won't. Climate change is here to stay, so it's only gonna get worse, folks. And on that wonderful, happy note, I am out. Peace.